Hello and a warm welcome to all our dear viewers of Awaken Within Daily. How was your day today? Whether it was filled with joy or touched by anxiety, no matter what happened, I truly hope that the you of today is a gently evolved version of yesterday. My dear friends, truth be told, feeling a bit lost and uncertain is simply a natural part of youth. Is there anyone who doesn't worry about the future? But what truly matters is that you allow yourself to settle into places that genuinely fit you, places that feel right for both your strength and your soul. Please don't bind yourself too tightly within harsh boundaries. After all, we are only human, beautifully fragile and soft at heart. So please don't worry too much. Be gentle with yourself and show yourself a little extra tender love. In this week's blog radio episode, let us sit back, listen, and reflect on the piece titled 50 Sovereign Mindsets, Contemplations on Turning Points, Stumbles, and the Inner Peace of Maturity. There are words we read in our youth that might have seemed too rigid, perhaps even cold or extreme. Yet, as we grow older, walking through more of life's storms, heartbreaks, and stumbles, we suddenly wake up to a realization. Every single word is a profound lesson bought with time, tears, and deep wounds. This writing does not seek to shape an absolute blueprint for everyone. However, reflecting deeply and choosing what resonates will save us from many unnecessary detours, helping us find a steady anchor amidst the ever-changing tides of life. A detailed compilation, an anthology of life philosophies and self-discipline, preface, the essence of maturity. Maturity is not when we begin to speak of grand things, but rather when we understand the smallest things deeply. Life, by its very nature, is a series of trials and errors. When we are young, we eagerly throw ourselves into the world with a proud heart, believing we can change everything, hold onto anyone who passes through our lives, and satisfy every gaze around us. But time is a strict teacher. It gently washes away our illusions, leaving behind scars meant not for resentment, but as quiet witnesses to our self-awareness and resilience. This collection consists of 50 sovereign mindsets, thoughtfully divided into two distinct parts. Part 1 focuses on social connections, interpersonal conduct, and setting personal boundaries to protect your own energy. Part 2 dives deeper into the inner world, self-discipline, money, and understanding human nature. These are not dry dogmas. They are gentle monologues, mirrors reflecting so each person can look back at their own journey. Let us read slowly, reflecting through the lens of our own experiences, because life is like a game of chess once a move is made. Do not dwell in regret over the past. Instead, focus softly on the next move. The boundaries between us and the art of self-protection. 1. Do not share too much about your past. Those who truly care will look at your present, while those who do not understand will only use your past as an excuse to judge. Humans naturally have a psychological tendency to share, to pour out their hearts in search of empathy when they meet someone who offers an initial sense of warmth. However, one of the greatest mistakes of youth is laying bare our entire past, including our mistakes, our wounds, and our most fragile, hidden corners before others without filter. We mistakenly believe this is sincerity, the shortest path to closing the distance between souls. Yet, the reality of life is often much colder. Human hearts fluctuate with time and circumstance. Someone who is a soulmate today could, due to a conflict of interest tomorrow, become a stranger or even an adversary. When that happens, the past stories you so honestly shared can turn into arrows flying backward, becoming the sharpest weapons used to hurt you. Those who do not truly understand or who hold prejudices against you will use your past as a ruler to box in your true essence, denying all your efforts in the present. Someone who truly loves and values you will not dig up what is gone to weigh your worth. They look at how you live, how you treat others, and how you rise in every moment of the present. Therefore, keeping a quiet space for your past is not deceitful. It is a necessary shield for the peace of your soul. 2. Do not concern yourself too much with what others think. You cannot please everyone, so just live true to your own values. We are born into a world filled with prejudices and expectations. From the casual whispers and judgments of neighbors, the silent evaluations of colleagues, to the invisible, flawless standards on social media, everything creates a heavy weight resting on our shoulders. If you live your life constantly looking over your shoulder, always fearing whether your actions please the eyes of others, you are willingly handing over the controls of your life to the world. The nature of this world is that you can never please everyone, no matter how perfect you are or how deeply kind you choose to be. There will still be people who dislike you, simply because you do not fit into their worldview or serve their interests. Realizing this brings an immense sense of relief to our hearts. You are under no obligation, and you will never possess the power to make everyone happy. Instead of wasting your precious mental energy guessing others' thoughts and trying to reshape yourself to their liking, focus softly on your own core values. When you know clearly who you are, where you are going, and what moral values you cherish, the external chatter will naturally fade into background noise unworthy of your concern. Living true to yourself takes a beautiful kind of courage, and it is the only way to attain a genuine happiness, one that is never borrowed from the applause of the world. 3. Others are others, and you are you. Everyone has their own unique path, so do not let watching someone else's life make you forget to live your own. The digital age has brought with it a common emotional ache known as peer pressure. With just a swipe of our phones, we easily catch glimpses of the glamorous successes of others, luxurious homes, lavish vacations, and high social standings achieved at a very young age. A silent comparison begins to take root in our minds, planting seeds of self-doubt, confusion, and envy in our hearts. Yet, we forget a fundamental truth. What others choose to display is merely the visible tip of the iceberg, a collection of carefully edited and curated scenes. We do not see the sleepless nights, the sweat, and the bitter sacrifices hidden behind that radiant glow. More importantly, everyone's starting point, circumstances, resources, and mission in this life are completely different. Using someone else's ruler to measure your own happiness is a deeply flawed comparison. Life is not a collective race with a single finish line. Each of us possesses our own biological clock, a personal path with lessons we must graduate from. Focus gently on improving yourself each day, cherishing what you have, and stepping firmly on your own path. Look at others' lives to learn, not to crave, and never lose sight of the sacred values in your own present life. 4. If a relationship feels optional, fine to have, but equally fine without have the gentle courage to let it go. Not everyone is meant to walk with us for a lifetime. Throughout our journey of growing up, our contact lists and friend networks grow longer by the day. There are people who appear for just a brief season, sharing a few stories with us, and then gradually drift away due to changing environments and shifting mindsets. Many of us cling to old memories or fear the ache of loneliness, trying hard to hold on to all of these connections. Even when every meeting now feels forced, filled with hollow small talk, or becomes a drain on our time and energy. The truth is, our energy and time are finite gifts. A relationship that no longer feeds the soul, helps us grow, or holds deep sincerity is simply an invisible burden. A mature heart understands that filtering relationships is a natural law of personal growth. Some people enter our lives simply to walk with us for a short distance, teach us a certain lesson, and then gently depart. That is completely okay. Learn to let go of ambiguous, superficial connections to make room for those who truly cherish you. And most importantly, to give yourself the time to care for your own soul. The quality of your connections will always matter so much more than the quantity. 5. Helping others is beautiful, but please guide your help with reason. Kindness without boundaries can sometimes cause suffering to your own heart. Compassion is one of the most beautiful virtues of humanity. However, kindness, when lacking the guidance of reason and wisdom, can easily turn into passivity, opening the door for others to take advantage of you. When you are always ready to say yes to every request, sacrificing your own interests, time, and inner peace to solve everyone else's problems, you are inadvertently enabling their dependency. Many will begin to take your kindness for granted. Then comes a day when you are no longer able to help, or when you must say no for a valid reason. They will instantly turn their backs, harboring resentment and erasing all your past goodness. That is the quiet tragedy of a kindness without boundaries. Please remember, you can only help others effectively when your own soul is standing on solid, peaceful ground. Extending a helping hand must go together with evaluating your own capacity and sensing whether the other person is truly deserving and possesses a spirit of self-reliance. Do not turn yourself into an emotional trash bin or a free problem-solving tool for the world. Knowing how to say no at the right moment is a beautiful sign of a mature mind, one that takes gentle responsibility for its own life. 6. Do not keep punishing your heart for things that have already happened. What truly matters is not regret, but the lesson you carry forward. The human mind has a painful habit of constantly traveling backward in time to feast on old mistakes and flawed past decisions. The words, "If only I had done things differently back then," double quotes make up one of the most toxic inner dialogues. It slowly erodes your present life energy, locking you away in a dark prison of regret and self-blame. The historical reality of each individual is something that can never be rewritten, no matter how much you cry, feel bitter, or torture yourself. What has happened remains unchanged. Drowning in regret does not fix the past. Instead, it causes you to miss the gentle opportunities of the present and dims your future. Instead of viewing a mistake as an erasable stain, look at it softly as a tuition fee you were meant to pay in the school of life. A resilient soul is not one that never stumbles, but one that knows how to rise from the debris, looking clearly at the cause of failure to gather deep wisdom. When you transform self-blame into mindful awareness, a painful past becomes a precious soil that nurtures your growth. Let what is gone gently slip away. What truly matters is that your next step is wiser and more grounded. 7. Either pour your heart into becoming extraordinary or learn to be completely at peace with your simple choices. Do not crave success while fearing the sacrifices it demands. One of the greatest sources of suffering and unrest within us is the inner conflict between our desires and our actions. Many deeply long for a wealthy life, a brilliant career, and the admiration of society. Yet, when faced with discipline, loneliness, sleepless nights of work, or heavy pressures, they shrink back, choosing procrastination and comfort instead. They find themselves caught in a restless state, worrying about work while resting, yet craving ease while working. This life operates on a beautifully fair law of exchange. Every peak achievement requires a corresponding price paid in sweat, tears, solitude, and iron discipline. If you wish to excel, accept the journey and gently let go of trivial pleasures. On the other hand, if you find that your soul belongs to a gentle, simple life, going to work in the morning, returning to your family at night, with just enough income, then learn to be completely, beautifully at peace with that choice. Do not gaze at another's success to reproach yourself, nor hold bitterness toward life. The deepest unhappiness comes from a boundless desire paired with a fragile will. Have the courage to choose a lifestyle and take full ownership of it. The gentle alignment between your thoughts and actions is where true peace resides. 8. Do not attend crowded, unnecessary gatherings. Many connections simply begin and end at the dining table when we are young. We often mistakenly believe that being present at every gathering, knowing a wide circle of people, and joining loud tables is proof of a rich network and high social standing. We fear being seen as eccentric, and the fear of missing out FOMO drives us to pour our time and health into nights that run into mornings where clinking glasses and endless promises of brotherhood echo continuously. Yet, it is only when adversity strikes, or when you need a helping hand in a matter of true survival, that you awaken to a bitter truth. 99% of those brothers from the dining table have vanished without a trace. Connections built on wine and vanity only hold value while the glasses are clinking. When the wine fades, the crowd disperses, and no one remembers the other. Spending your time, money, and health on such superficial encounters is a costly waste. A mature person knows how to save their energy for quality conversations, deep tea sessions with true kindred spirits, or spending that precious time with family and nurturing their own growth. A few friends who truly understand your heart are worth far more than thousands of casual acquaintances at a feast. 9. Work hard to earn money, save, and accumulate. Money isn't everything, but it is the foundation that gives you more choices in life. People often say money cannot buy happiness, and that is beautifully true from a purely spiritual perspective. However, using this saying as an excuse for laziness or to justify financial irresponsibility is a deeply harmful mistake. In the real world, money acts as a form of energy, a powerful shield that protects your life and the lives of those you love dearly. Imagine when a loved one unfortunately falls seriously ill. If you have money, you can choose the best doctors and the finest medical care for them. When you face a toxic work environment or a terrible boss, if you have a large enough savings fund, you can gracefully hand in your resignation without worrying about where tomorrow's meal will come from or how your children's tuition will be paid. Money brings you freedom and the right to choose. It helps you maintain your dignity in the face of life's temptations and pressures. Therefore, while you are young and healthy, pour your heart into working honestly to earn money, while learning to manage your finances, save, and accumulate wisely. Do not waste your resources on fleeting, superficial things only to find yourself helpless when the storms arrive. A secure bank balance is one of the sturdiest life jackets a mature person can possess. 10. Do not try to change anyone. The only person you can truly change is yourself. In our relationships, from romance and marriage to friendship and motherhood, we often carry a heavy desire, the wish to mold and change the other person into a blueprint we believe is good and right. We use nagging, reproach, and even pressure to force them to alter their habits, mindset, or lifestyle. Yet, the harvest of this effort is usually disappointment, endless arguments, and deep fractures in the soul. Human nature is a deeply rooted system of thought shaped by decades of experiences, education, and environments. A person only truly changes when they mindfully realize it themselves and desire that change from deep within their own heart, never because of external coercion or pressure. Trying to change someone else is a selfish act wearing the mask of love, and it only brings exhaustion to both sides. The highest wisdom of a mature heart is learning to gently accept differences. If someone has traits that do not align with your core values, choose how you interact with them or softly walk away instead of staying and trying to fix them. Direct all of that precious energy toward changing and perfecting your own self. When you change, the world around you naturally shifts in a truly magical way. 11. Take care of your own matters and try to resolve them yourself. The more independent you are, the more grounded your life becomes. The habit of leaning on others, of constantly wishing for someone to rescue you whenever difficulties arise, is a fragile mindset that must be gently shed if you truly wish to grow. When you are always searching for a shoulder to cry on or a savior to bail you out of every challenge, you are inadvertently dimming your own survival instincts and your capacity to solve problems. In this life, after all, no one is obligated to carry the weight of your existence for you. Parents will eventually grow old and frail. Friends all have their own worries, and even a life partner carries their own silent pressures. When you place the solution to your problems into the hands of another, you place yourself in a passive state, making it so easy to fall into disappointment and blame when the help doesn't arrive as expected. Train your soul to navigate challenges independently. When trouble strikes, the very first step is to calmly analyze, seek solutions, and gently act to fix it yourself. This independence may feel heavy and exhausting in the beginning, but its reward is beautifully grand: a resilient spirit and absolute confidence in your own abilities. A person who can stand firmly on their own through the storm will never fear any shift in circumstance. 12. Walk away from relationships and environments that no longer fit who you are. Sometimes letting go is a beautiful way to grow. There is a law in physics known as the conservation of energy, and it holds completely true in human psychology as well. If you choose to stay in a toxic workplace where gossip, envy, and the stifling of talent happen daily, or if you stubbornly hold onto a love that has grown cold, leaving behind only pain and mutual torment, you are wastefully burning away your own life. Many people do not dare to fear starting over from absolute zero, or simply deeply regret the time and effort they have invested there. Yet they do not understand that the opportunity cost of staying is far too high. It is the slow erosion of self-esteem, the dimming of one's capabilities, and the loss of inner peace. Walking away is not running away. It is not cowardice. Rather, It is a mindful choice born from a deep awareness of your own worth. Letting go of what no longer belongs to you, what no longer inspires your growth, is a beautiful way to release stagnant energy, creating a gentle space for new opportunities and more fitting souls to appear. Maturity is when you understand that some doors close simply so that grander, brighter pathways can be opened. The journey of growth and inner peace 6. 13. It is not a crowd of friends that makes the road easier to walk when you embody true worth. The right people will naturally find their way to you. The saying an extra friend is an extra path is often deeply misunderstood. People try hard to connect widely, making appearances in every circle, actively seeking acquaintance with those of power or status in hopes of asking for favors in the future. But the reality of life operates on a beautifully honest principle, the law of equivalent value, or reciprocity. If you yourself are not strong enough and have no core value to exchange, your place in the eyes of those powerful people is merely a faint name in a contact list, a presence without weight. When hardship finds you, those casual social connections will instantly reveal their cold nature. Instead of wasting your precious time chasing or trying to please others, return home to focus gently on elevating your own capabilities, knowledge, and virtues. When you become extraordinary, when you radiate the beautiful light of competence and kindness, people of the same frequency and high-quality partners will naturally be drawn to you. A connection rooted in mutual respect for each other's talents and values is the only one that endures, truly lighting up your career path. 14. When your inner strength is not yet enough, do not exhaust yourself trying to please everyone. Dedicate your time to raising your own worth. When first stepping into society or a new environment, driven by the fear of being isolated, many choose to play the role of the always helpful pleaser, constantly accepting every trivial task, smiling through exhaustion, and catering to the emotions of everyone around them. They mistakenly believe that this unconditional sacrifice and kindness will secure them a steady place and genuine affection. Yet, reality can be bittersweet. In any group, if you lack exceptional competence, your excessive eagerness only turns you into a convenient tool for errands, a replaceable presence that never receives true respect from colleagues or superiors. People only truly admire those who can resolve core problems, those who bring real value to the table. Therefore, when you feel you are still growing, know how to gently step back, limit your involvement in outside matters that do not concern you, and devote your full time and mind to learning, sharpening your skills, and gathering experience. Let your true capabilities speak for you. Instead of hollow words of flattery, when you are strong enough, the respect of others will naturally arrive, without you ever having to beg for it. 15. Do not share too much about your income or financial situation. Some things are simply better kept close to your heart. Finance is one of the most sensitive threads in social relationships. Comfortably revealing your income, assets, or debts to others, even to close friends or relatives, usually invites far more trouble than benefit. The human heart carries highly complex psychological corners when it comes to money. If you share that you are earning a great deal, you may inadvertently plant a seed of quiet envy in another's heart, turning yourself into a target for loans that are difficult to refuse, or causing them to view you through the lens of material gain. On the other hand, if you constantly complain about poverty and lay bare your financial struggles, you may easily receive disdain from society, or cause those around you to gently drift away out of fear of being burdened. Knowing how to keep your financial state quiet is a sign of a deep mind, a graceful wisdom in protecting oneself. Let your life unfold in a peaceful quiet, neither flaunting nor complaining. True wealth lives in your secure balance and the deep peace within your soul. It never needs to be proven to anyone. 16. Do not desperately hold on to someone who has already chosen to leave. Some goodbyes are not a loss, but a beautiful release. In love or in friendship, experiencing someone decide to turn their back and walk out of your life is a deeply painful experience. Our natural reaction is often to panic, to lower our self-esteem, to beg, and to hold on tightly with the hope that they will change their mind. We torture our hearts with the question of what we did wrong to make them leave. Yet, looking at this mindfully, once someone actively wishes to abandon you, it means that the affection, the respect, and the thread of connection between you two were truly broken long ago. Holding on at this moment only increases their distaste and diminishes your own worth. Some relationships have simply reached their natural boundary. Bringing them to a close is necessary to release both souls from a tiring bond that has no future. Learn to accept the truth with a proud and serene heart. Thank them for the road you walked together, and softly wish them peace on their new path. Their departure is a gentle signal from the universe that they no longer fit into your soul's journey of evolution. Keep your dignity intact and open your heart to embrace the beautiful things waiting ahead. 17. Practice deep empathy, but do not let compassion cause you to carry the weight of another person's destiny. Compassion helps us connect and share in the pain and difficult circumstances of our fellow human beings. However, there is a very fine line between profound empathy and willingly turning yourself into the bearer of another's karma and life responsibilities. Many people have a tendency to take everything upon themselves, feeling plagued by guilt if they cannot rescue a friend drowning in crisis or a relative who repeatedly makes mistakes. Every person born into this world carries their own destiny, a sequence of lessons they must go through on their own to grow. When you intervene too deeply, carrying the entirety of their financial or emotional burdens, you are inadvertently depriving them of the opportunity to stand on their own two feet and learn from their stumbles. More seriously, carrying too many heavy weights that do not belong to you will leave you exhausted, breaking down both physically and mentally, which ultimately harms your own life and family. Learn to love and empathize in mindful awareness. You can offer them a word of advice or a helping hand within your reach, but absolutely never let their life submerge yours. Everyone must bear the highest responsibility for their own destiny. 18. A resilient soul knows how to manage emotions. Anger resolves very few things in life. Anger is an instinctual, primal emotion that arises when face to face with unwanted things, injustices, or when our interests are crossed. However, letting anger govern your reason, letting it erupt into toxic, hurtful words or aggressive actions, is a sign of an untamed spirit lacking inner cultivation. Anger is much like a flame. Before it burns anyone else, it has already scorched your own inner peace and your precious relationships. Words spoken in anger are like nails driven into a tree trunk. Even if they are pulled out later, the scars remain forever, in work and in life. Anger rarely resolves the root of a problem. Instead, it complicates the situation, pushes conflict to its peak, and exposes your vulnerabilities to the other side. A truly strong person possesses a cool head and a warm heart. Faced with provocation or a crisis, they know how to take a deep breath, stepping back to let the anger settle, before using clear reason to analyze and choose the wisest response. Silence and composure during moments of heat are a supreme, invisible power. 19. If you feel it is a misfit right from the beginning, do not force yourself to continue. Human intuition is a highly sensitive warning system, woven from unconscious signals that our conscious mind has not yet found words to name. In reality, when beginning a new job, entering a romance, or starting a business partnership, sometimes right from the very first moments, we feel a slight ripple of unease, a vague discomfort, or anxiety. Yet, for reasons like financial pressure, loneliness, or advice from outsiders, we often try to brush that intuition aside, convincing ourselves that everything will be fine or I will get used to it in time. The bittersweet result is that after a long period of enduring, wasting so much of our youth and energy, we still face a broken ending exactly what our intuition warned us about in the beginning. Forcing yourself into a coat that is too tight or too loose only brings pain and deforms the soul. Learn to respect and listen to the voice within you. If, right from the starting line, you feel a serious misalignment in core values or energy frequency, have the courage to stop and gently say no. This timely decisiveness will save both you and the other person a great deal of time and unnecessary heartbreak. 20. No matter how close you are, boundaries are always necessary. Respect yourself first, and only then will others respect you. One of the most common reasons behind the breakdown of close relationships from best friends and siblings to married couples is the disappearance of personal boundaries. We mistakenly believe that when we are close enough, we have the right to intervene deeply in each other's private lives, voluntarily alter each other's belongings, or make intrusive, insensitive remarks under the guise of, "We are so close, so I'll speak bluntly." The truth is, each individual is an independent entity with sacred emotional spaces that should never be violated. When you allow someone to step over that line once without a gentle resistance or a reminder, they will continue to step over it in the future with growing severity. Gradually, you will find yourself feeling disregarded and losing your self-esteem to receive respect from others. You must first establish and protect your own boundaries clearly and firmly. Learn to say a gentle but firm no to requests that exceed your limits, and honestly express your stance when your privacy or dignity is crossed. Setting boundaries is not about being distant or selfish. It is the most beautiful way to sustain a healthy, enduring, and mutually respectful relationship. 21. Money can resolve so many problems, but health, inner peace, and family are the treasures most worth holding onto. As we explored in earlier reflections, money is an immensely important and powerful tool in our daily reality. However, if you pursue wealth and fame so intensely that you willingly sell out your health, neglect your family, and trade away the peace within your soul, you are entering a gamble where the loss will surely belong to you. There are things in this world that, once gone, can never be bought back with any amount of wealth. Your health is a finite resource. When it is completely exhausted, a hospital bed becomes the most expensive bed on earth, one that no soul wishes to experience. The warmth of family, the growth of your children, and the aging of your parents are linear streams that never flow backward. If you miss them, there is no second chance to rewrite the story. And ultimately, a soul filled with continuous anxiety, calculation, And sleepless nights from financial pressure can never truly taste happiness, even if sitting upon a mountain of gold. A wise heart understands that money is a means to serve life, not the ultimate goal that destroys it. Knowing when to stop balancing the act of earning with caring for your health, nurturing family bonds, and cultivating inner peace, this is the true peak of a fulfilled life. 22. Do not rush to reveal every corner of your soul just because you met someone who feels like a perfect match. Time is always the most accurate answer. In this life, we occasionally meet a few souls who, from the very first conversation, bring an incredibly aligned feeling as though we have known them from a past lifetime. This emotional high can easily cause us to lower our guard, immediately opening our hearts to reveal our deepest thoughts, secrets, personal views, and even our vulnerabilities. Yet, human hearts are as deep as the ocean, and what is shown in the beginning is often just the most beautiful mask they wish to present, or simply a temporary alignment of momentary emotions. A person's true nature is only clearly revealed through time when facing conflicts of interest, when witnessing how they behave during times of hardship, or when they hold power in their hands. Rushing to lay yourself bare is like walking onto a battlefield without armor. Keep a gentle composure within yourself, a necessary space to observe and feel. Let time do its natural work of filtering. A genuine, deep connection never needs to be rushed. It deserves to be built slowly and solidly through the real experiences of life. 23. With those around you, choose carefully rather than trying to change them. This mindset is an extension and deepening of the 10th reflection. In our daily lives, we must interact with many different types of people, from positive souls filled with energy to negative individuals who constantly complain, act selfishly, or carry toxic lifestyles. The mistake of many well-intentioned but inexperienced souls is trying to stay beside these negative individuals, helping to use their love, advice, or energy to inspire and change them. Reality proves that negative energy is far more contagious than positive energy. Instead of changing them, you will gradually be dragged down into the mud of discouragement, confusion, and exhaustion. Mature hearts understand this law deeply, so they choose the path of filtering rather than fixing. They actively establish a safe distance from toxic sources of energy, cutting down the frequency of contact with those who do not share the same core values. At the same time, they dedicate their time and mind to searching for and connecting with progress-minded people who carry compassion and kindness. The right to choose who is permitted to step into your life is your supreme right. Use it wisely to protect your own mental ecosystem so it always remains pure and fresh. 24. Those with capability will often face envy. This is entirely normal, so do not let a few whispers make you falter. When you begin to break through, achieving outstanding success in your studies, work, or life, you will notice a common social phenomenon. Around you, whispers, scrutiny, or even silent sabotage will begin to appear from people who used to treat you quite normally before. Envy is a primal psychological trait of the weak, those who refuse to put in the effort to rise yet do not wish to see others outperform them. Many sensitive souls, when faced with this envy, will feel hurt, confused, or even choose to withdraw, intentionally stifling their own capabilities just to fit in and please the crowd. This is a deeply foolish sacrifice. Please understand that being envied is an indirect validation of your capability and success. The envious can only watch your back from behind. Instead of wasting time feeling heartbroken or trying to explain and justify yourself to them, transform that envy into fuel to keep pressing forward at a faster pace, reaching even more glorious heights that keep you forever out of their reach. Let your brilliant results be the most resounding answer to baseless gossip. 25. Do not place too much expectation on anyone. When you learn to stand firmly on your own, you will face less disappointment and live with a much lighter heart. Expectation is the root of all disappointment and heartbreak in human psychology. We naturally tend to impose our subjective desires on others, expecting a lover to always be understanding and attentive, expecting friends to always be ready to sacrifice themselves, or expecting children to fulfill the unfinished dreams of their parents. When they do not act according to the script we have written in our heads, we crumble, blaming them for being cold, treacherous, or ungrateful. But looking at it fairly, no one is born into this world with an obligation to live up to your expectations. They have their own lives, along with their own limitations in awareness, emotion, and circumstance. When you place your happiness and peace in the actions of others, you are turning yourself into an emotional beggar. The greatest turning point of maturity is when you know how to withdraw all expectations from the outside world and return them to yourself. Create your own joy, heal your own wounds, earn your own money, and take responsibility for your own life. When you become a majestic tree standing firmly between heaven and earth, whether someone comes to offer shade or gently departs will no longer shake you. You will look at every relationship with an attitude of tolerance and freedom, living a truly effortless life. Self-discipline, money, and the depth of maturity. 26. Once you have decided to do something, do not rush to tell your plans to others. Let your results speak for you, a common habit when a new business idea, a weight loss plan, or a major learning goal flashes in our minds is to excitedly share it right away with friends, family, or post it on social media. Psychological science calls this phenomenon premature gratification. When you speak about your plans and receive praise and encouragement from others, your brain automatically releases dopamine, the happiness hormone, giving you a gentle feeling as if you have already achieved that success. This illusion of satisfaction can seriously diminish your motivation and actual willpower to take action afterward. Not to mention, while a plan is still on paper, sharing it too soon exposes you to countless discouraging words, doubts, or prejudices from those around you. These negative energies can plant hesitation and fear in your mind, causing your idea to be stifled before it even has a chance to breathe. A wise soul chooses a life of quiet effort. They keep their plans in their heart like a sacred secret, focusing all their energy on taking action and navigating difficulties in silence. Let your success gather like distant thunder, allowing real results, numbers, and clear achievements to replace every grand initial statement. True depth lives in action, never in words. 27. If it does not concern your own interests, do not waste time arguing. Winning an argument does not mean winning at life every day. On social media and in real life, we witness endless, heated arguments about all kinds of topics, from a celebrity's private life, a political view, to a casual traffic incident on the street. Many are willing to stay awake all night, typing long paragraphs of comments and using harsh words against strangers just to prove that I am right and they are wrong. Looking at this mindfully, what does winning such an inconsequential argument truly give you? It only satisfies your arrogant ego for a fleeting moment, while the price you pay is a draining of your spiritual energy, irritation in your body, and a waste of precious time that you could have used to work, study, or sit beside those you love. Furthermore, each person's perspective is shaped by their education, environment, and personal experiences. You cannot expect someone standing on the first floor to see the view of someone standing on the 100th floor. When a dispute brings no real value to your life or legitimate interests, smiling and quietly letting it go is a sign of supreme wisdom. Save your energy for grander things instead of wasting it on pointless battles behind a screen. 28. The stronger your inner world, the less you are affected by the words of others. It is not about being and feeling, but about knowing what is truly worth your care. A person with a fragile inner world is like a dry leaf before the wind. Just a single word of praise from the crowd can lift them to the clouds, but a single word of criticism can cause them to break down, lose sleep all night, and reproach themselves. Their life is entirely dictated by the attitude of the outside world. Conversely, a person with a strong inner world is like a majestic mountain standing firm before the storm. This strength does not come from being cold, unfeeling, or arrogant, but from a profound self-awareness. They know their strengths clearly to nurture them, and their shortcomings to mend them. When praised, they smile with gratitude but remain humble. When facing criticism or insult, they listen with a calm heart, filtering out valuable feedback to absorb, while viewing groundless negative words as a gentle breeze passing by their ears. Silence carries an incredibly powerful message. When you send a proposal for cooperation, a thoughtful greeting, or an important question to someone, and what you receive back is a silence that stretches for days or weeks even though they remain active online, you do not need to try to find excuses for them like they must be too busy or the message must have been buried. The truth is very simple. In their system of priorities, you do not hold an important place. The silence, the delay in replying, is a silent answer, polite yet distant, that says, "I am not interested," or "I decline." Stubbornly sending more messages or making rushed phone calls only turns you into a nuisance and lowers your own self-esteem. A mature person knows how to read these wordless messages. They quietly withdraw their care, close that door, and walk forward. Do not try to hold on to someone who no longer wishes to walk beside you or dedicate their time to you. Your self-respect is worth far more than a forced reply from an indifferent heart. 30. Every day you only need to remember 3 things. Take care of your health, keep your emotions stable, and work hard to earn money. Modern life is immensely complex, with countless concerns, responsibilities, and pressures surrounding us from all sides. A peaceful mind, one that does not fluctuate excessively in the face of adversity, will help you make clear-headed decisions and protect your inner peace. Third is working hard to earn money. Honestly, earned money brings freedom, independence, and the ability to shield the ones you love. When you focus your entire mind and energy on beautifully fulfilling these 3 core goals each day, you will no longer have time for negative thoughts, outside gossip, or superficial connections. Your life will become incredibly minimal, efficient, and filled with deep meaning. 31. Do not be overly greedy, for no one can have everything. Yet, do not be overly pessimistic, for no one is left with absolutely nothing. The universe operates under a beautifully subtle law of balance. Looking closely at life, we often see those who possess great wealth yet endure a fractured home and troubled children. Conversely, there are those whose material life is simple, yet their home is overflowing with laughter and warmth. Some achieve a brilliant career while their health is completely spent, while others live a leisurely, peaceful life but face narrow finances. Craving to possess every beautiful thing on earth, to be the wealthiest, the most relaxed, and to have the most flawless love all at once is an unrealistic desire that leads to endless suffering. Please understand that life always involves choice and compensation. When you are blessed with one thing, you must gently accept a lack in another. At the same time, when you fall into difficult times and find yourself empty-handed, never sink into the depth of absolute despair. Look back at yourself. You still have bright eyes to behold the world, hands to work, a clear mind, and profound lessons bought with experience. These are your invaluable assets to begin anew. Knowing what is enough to be happy with what you have, and keeping hope alive to rise from adversity, is a truly wise way to live. 32. As we grow up, a true sense of security often comes from a bank balance rather than a handful of promises. When we were school students or young souls newly entering the world, we lived on romance and dreams. We easily felt secure and happy before the eternal promises of a lover, the supportive assurances of a superior, or the beautiful visions that others drew for us. But when real-life crises hit, when the rent is due, a loved one needs urgent medical funds, or the company suddenly downsizes, we wake up to a sharp realization. Those sweet promises from back then cannot pay the bills, cannot buy medicine, and cannot soothe a hungry stomach. In the world of maturity, the most realistic and solid sense of security is measured by your own bank balance. Saved money is the quiet proof of your hard work, your discipline in spending, and your capacity to be independent. It helps you gracefully face risks, protect your own dignity, and offer a steady anchor for your family without ever having to depend on the charity or pity of anyone else. 33. Deeply cherish those who stand by you during your hardest times. Those are the only connections truly worth keeping. When you are standing at the peak of your career, surrounded by wealth, status, and power, your world is always filled with laughter, praises, flattery, and people ready to serve you. It is incredibly difficult to discern who is a genuine friend and who is an opportunist in that glamorous atmosphere. But when fortune leaves you, when you find yourself empty-handed or facing a severe crisis, the crown falls. That is when the play ends and the bittersweet truth is laid bare. The vast majority of those who once cheered for you will instantly turn away, pretending to be strangers, or even strike you from behind for their own benefit. In that dark hour, if there are still souls who choose to stay by your side, never disdaining your poverty, ready to share a simple meal, or simply sitting in quiet silence to listen and encourage you to rise, engrave their kindness deeply into your heart. They are your true guardians, the most precious diamonds that life has gifted you through the trial of adversity. Dedicate the rest of your life to honoring, protecting, and repaying these sincere relationships. 34. When you meet someone who doesn't share your frequency, do not exhaust yourself trying to explain. Everyone has their own unique way of looking at life. The concept of frequency or vibe in modern psychology points to the gentle harmony in thought, awareness, worldview, and core values between souls. When two people carry a vast gap in their understanding, communicating becomes a profound burden. You speak of your dreams of starting a business, of embracing risks to rise. They look at you with eyes of ridicule, calling you unrealistic and delusional, advising you to stay safely inside your shell. You choose to spend money on books and sharpening your skills. They view it as a waste and laugh at you. Your greatest mistake at this moment is choosing to stand still, wasting hours explaining, justifying, and trying to convince them to understand your ideals. Please remember, a summer insect can never speak of ice and snow. Their perspective is gently bound by the narrow well of their own awareness. Your efforts to explain will not shift their view. Instead, it only leaves you irritated and drains your precious energy. Smile, nod politely in agreement, and softly walk forward on your own path. Time and the fruits of each person's life will naturally offer the most accurate answer. 35. Restraining your emotions during moments of heat and knowing how to remain quiet at the right time is a beautiful form of resilience. It is often said that instinct is reactive, but true resilience is knowing how to restrain oneself. In a tense argument, when the other side releases insulting, provocative words meant to humiliate you, the natural response of the ego is to instantly strike back with sharper, more toxic words to win the battle of language. Yet, stepping into the emotional whirlpool of another person means you have lost from the very beginning. You have allowed them to govern your mood and behavior. Knowing how to practice silence at the right time is never about cowardice or running out of arguments. Rather, it is because you mindfully realize that continuing to dispute at this moment is empty of value and only lowers your own dignity. Silence at this moment acts as a sturdy fortress, causing every arrow of provocation from the other side to fall into the void. It reflects absolute self-control, a tolerant and elevated view toward behaviors lacking inner cultivation. Restraining the fury within your heart while keeping your face serene is a deep inner art that only truly mature and resilient souls can cultivate. 36. If a path cannot be walked straight, learn to take a detour. Being flexible is never a sign of weakness. In our journey of pursuing career or life goals, we often map out an ideal route, traveling from point A to point B in a perfectly straight line. Yet, the reality of life always carries unexpected variables: an economic crisis, a shift in policy, or a sudden personal event that appears like a massive stone wall blocking your straight path. Many with a rigid mindset will choose to blindly crash into that wall, accepting brokenness, or when seeing they cannot cross it, they instantly lose heart, give up, and blame fate. The supreme wisdom of successful souls is the mindset of water. When meeting an obstacle, water does not stop, nor does it try to violently destroy it. It gently, flexibly flows around, finding quiet openings to continue its journey toward the ocean. Accepting a detour, changing your method, or temporarily stepping back a pace to accumulate more resources is never cowardice or abandoning your goal. It is wisdom, a tactical flexibility to preserve your strength and ensure ultimate victory. The destination remains unchangeable, but the soul traveling toward it must flow in thousands of ways to adapt to the circumstance. 37. Life is like a game of chess. Once a move is made, do not dwell in regret over the past. Instead, focus softly on the next move. Any chess player knows a supreme law upon the board: a piece once placed cannot be recalled. Once the chess piece leaves your hand, you are never permitted to replay it. A human life is a grand and bittersweet chessboard exactly like that. every decision you made in the past, which field of study you chose, whom you married, which project you invested in is a completed move that leaves direct consequences in your present. Life is like a game of chess. Once a move is made, do not dwell in regret over the past. Instead, focus softly on the next move, so simple yet filled with deep contemplation. Contemplation is an unavoidable part of the human journey because we are not unfeeling machines. We carry emotions, a heavy sense of regret when looking back at mistaken chess moves that cost us 10 years of youth or large amounts of assets. Yet, if you sit with your knees pulled close before the chessboard, your eyes staring blankly at a flawed move from 10 rounds ago, focus softly on the next move, so simple yet filled with deep contemplation. Contemplation is an unavoidable part of the human journey because we are not unfeeling machines. We carry emotions, a heavy sense of regret when looking back at mistaken chess moves that cost us 10 years of youth or large amounts of assets. Yet, if you sit with your knees pulled close before the chessboard, your eyes staring blankly at a flawed move from 10 rounds ago, and dedicating the full clarity of their intellect to analyze how, with this flawed position, they must play the next move to turn the tides or minimize the damage to the utmost. The past has shaped the present, but it is your move in the present that decides your future. 38. Whatever can be resolved with money, do not be in a rush to ask favors of others. Human connection should be woven into the right moments. In Eastern culture, personal connections and networks of acquaintance, collectively known as human sentiment or debts of gratitude, play an immensely large role. Many carry a mindset of wishing to save money, so whenever a small trouble arises in life, from moving houses, fixing a car, to handling paperwork, the first thing they think of is searching their contacts for an acquaintance they can ask to do it for free or for a cheap price. They mistakenly believe they are being clever because they saved a bit of cost. But they do not understand that money has a clear, straightforward price. Once paid, the debt is settled. Whereas a debt of gratitude is priceless and the hardest form of debt to repay in this world. When you ask a favor of someone, you place yourself in a position of owing them a kindness. Then comes a day when they return to ask a favor of you that exceeds your capacity or violates your moral principles, and you will find yourself in a deeply painful dilemma. To refuse is to be seen as ungrateful and treacherous, yet to agree is to cause suffering to your own heart. Therefore, the wise thinking of a mature soul is, whatever can be cleanly resolved with money, use money to handle it quickly and professionally. Save those precious relationships of gratitude for truly urgent situations, those critical turning points of life where even money stands helpless. 39. Care for your own emotions a little more and stop trying so hard to please everyone. This reflection dives deeper into the aspect of healing and self-love from the second mindset. Since childhood, we have been taught to be good, obedient children who know how to sacrifice for others. This education inadvertently creates a harmful psychological filter in adulthood. We always prioritize the emotions and desires of others above all else, willingly enduring hidden bitterness and suppressing our wounds just to maintain a false sense of peace around us. When you always play the role of the one who takes the loss to please the world, your body and soul accumulate a massive amount of emotional toxicity. Then comes a day when that suppressed volcano erupts in the form of psychological suffering like depression, anxiety, or serious physical illnesses. Please remember, the only person who walks with you from the very first moment of life until your final breath is yourself. If you do not cherish, protect, and listen to your own emotions, who will do that for you? Living with a healthy selfishness is necessary. Learn to listen to whether your body is tired, whether your soul is weeping. Refuse the gatherings that exhaust you and walk away from the people who leave your energy depleted. Loving yourself completely is the very first step toward loving others in a beautiful, true way. 40. The capacity to tune out negative things is a truly precious ability. Not everything deserves a reaction. Every day, we interact with thousands of pieces of information and stimuli from the outside world. A casual criticism from a passerby, a dismissive attitude from a server, a negative post online, or a baseless rumor. If you are someone with an overly sensitive mind, absorbing everything into your head and instantly raising your quills to react, argue, and defend, you will quickly find yourself in a state of depleted energy. The ability to tune things out, or what we call a psychological filter, is one of the most precious capabilities of a soul with high emotional intelligence EQ. They understand that the world is a diverse and tangled entity, and encountering negative things or rude people is an unavoidable probability of life. Instead of letting those things enter and ruin their beautiful mood, they choose to ignore them, viewing them as invisible dust particles unworthy of concern. Choosing not to react is never cowardice. Rather, it is a supreme form of disregard for the unpleasant and an absolute honoring of one's own peace. Choose which battles to enter. Not every trash dump needs you to clean it up. 41. Before you say or do anything, look closely at the consequences. A single word can build a relationship, yet it can also destroy it. The ancients had a saying, a word once spoken, a coachman for horses cannot recall it. Once a word escapes the lips, even a chariot drawn by 4 horses cannot chase it down. Words carry an immensely powerful force. They can be a soothing medicine that heals a wound, breathing motivation into someone to rise from the abyss, yet they can also be a sharp blade piercing deep into the heart, destroying self-esteem and snapping a connection carefully nurtured for decades in a single second. Many impulsive individuals often justify their lack of restraint by saying, I am just blunt. I say what I think, with no bad intentions, but bluntness missing empathy and grace is simply cruelty and selfishness. Before speaking or taking a turning point action, pause for 3 seconds to gently ask yourself 3 core questions. Is what I am about to say the truth? Does it bring value or kindness to the listener? And most importantly, what will the consequence of this word look like 5 or 10 years from now? Learning to reflect deeply before speaking and thinking thoroughly about the cause and effect of your behavior is the clearest sign of a mature mind, one that knows how to take responsibility for itself and the world. 42. Connect with those who carry a wealth-building mindset. What is worth learning is not just the money, but the discipline, the vision, and the way they act. There is a very famous quote by the philosopher Jim Rohn: "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If you are surrounded only by those who choose to stay comfortable inside their shell, spending their days gathering to party, complaining about fate, and blaming the government, your mindset will gradually be diluted and remain stagnant. Conversely, when you actively connect, seek opportunities to work with, and talk to individuals who possess a strong business and wealth-building mindset, you will be enlightened in so many ways. The most precious thing you learn from them is not some quick trick to make fast money, but the ecosystem of thought behind their success. it is the iron discipline in their work and life. It is the capacity to see opportunities where others see only risks. It is the courageous spirit to take action, accept failure, and continuously refine their solutions. Observing how they manage their time and how they treat partners and customers will be the most practical university, helping you raise your capability and transform the destiny of your life. Choose your friends wisely and choose your mentors with care. 43 humans are naturally a bit selfish, but knowing how to live for others is the only way to walk a long journey. The primal survival instinct of all living things, including humans, is self-serving, always prioritizing the protection of one's own interest and safety above all else. This is entirely normal and nothing to be ashamed of. However, if a soul allows that selfishness to govern them completely, living a life of only gathering for themselves and willingly stepping on the interests of others to advance, they are choosing a dangerous dead end. In human society, all sustainable success operates on the principle of symbiosis and creating value for the community. A business can only grow strong if its product resolves a pain point and brings value to its customers. A leader can only travel far if they know how to care for the livelihood and growth of those beneath them. Knowing how to live for others, knowing how to share benefits, empathize, and help those around you is never a loss. It is a wise, long-term investment when you sow kindness and practical value. You are building a solid network of trust and support from society. That is the sturdiest anchor helping you go far, reach high, and stand firm against every storm of life. 44. Rather begin from absolute zero than live forever depending on someone else. The feeling of being sheltered, financially provided for, or leaning on the power of another, whether it is wealthy parents, an affluent partner, or a patron at work, is an incredibly gentle temptation. It grants you a luxurious, leisurely life immediately without having to endure years of hard labor building from zero. Yet, the price to pay for this dependence is immensely heavy. It is your freedom and your self-respect. When you live on someone else's money, you must play by their rules, bowing your head before their decisions or even their disdain and insults without the right to resist. Your status at this moment is no different from a vine, living as a parasite, liable to be cast aside at any moment when the supporter changes their mind or faces a crisis. It is far better to courageously step outside, accepting to begin from around zero, doing the smallest tasks with your own hands, and eating simple meals earned with your own sweat and tears. The freedom of choice, the pride of completely owning your life, is a high form of happiness that no amount of sheltered wealth can match. Standing firmly on your own feet is the proudest crown of a mature soul. 45. The greatest discipline of a mature adult is lessening the desire to fix others. This reflection condenses the deepest layer of human relationships, drawing from the wisdom of the 10th and 23rd mindsets. When we reach a certain level of maturity, accumulating experience, knowledge, and insights, we easily fall into the expert syndrome, always noticing the mistakes in how others live, manage their finances, or raise their children, and instantly raising our voices to criticize or offer advice with the hope of changing them. Yet, trying to fix others usually brings nothing but resistance and resentment from them, alongside deep exhaustion for yourself. The supreme discipline of a wise soul is learning to restrain that desire to showcase superiority. Please understand that each individual carries their own journey of spiritual evolution. A unique lesson that they must personally pay for with mistakes before they can truly awaken. Speaking before they are ready to listen is a fragile waste of words. Instead of acting as a warden judging and correcting the world, return to practicing iron discipline with yourself, mending your own flaws, and raising the horizon of your own awareness. Living a brilliant, kind, and peaceful life of your own is the most powerful advice, a lighthouse capable of deeply moving and transforming others without ever uttering a single dogmatic word. 46. Deeply cherish those who live responsibly, keep their promises, and treat others with genuine sincerity. In a society filled with continuous shifts, sweet falsehoods, and short-term relationships built purely on interest, qualities like a sense of responsibility, keeping one's word, trustworthiness, and sincerity become incredibly rare and luxurious assets. Meeting someone who possesses these traits is like finding a stream of cool, fresh water in the middle of a barren desert. A responsible soul will never abandon you or their duties when facing hardships. They are ready to stand up and bear the consequences instead of searching for ways to blame others. A person who keeps their promises, even in the smallest matters, is someone who respects their own integrity and honors your time and trust. One who treats you with sincerity will never wear a deceitful mask to profit from you. They genuinely rejoice when you succeed and feel your pain when you face adversity. Such individuals are steady anchors, strategic partners, and soulmates worth thousands of pieces of gold on the road of life. Learn to bow your head in appreciation, treating them with all the corresponding kindness and sincerity. Never let carelessness or a fleeting moment of greed hurt or lose them, because once sincere people turn their backs and depart, you will never be able to find them again. 47. Business, in the end, is about working with people. Understanding human nature will help you understand so many things in life. Many mistakenly believe that business is merely a story of financial numbers, macro marketing strategies, technological algorithms, or flowing capital. But when stepping deep into the reality of the marketplace, they awaken to a core truth. Behind every contract, every transaction, and every investment decision is a flesh and blood human being carrying a full spectrum of emotions, aspirations, fears, and psychological vulnerabilities. Business, after all, is the art of understanding and fulfilling human needs. A brilliantly successful entrepreneur is one who carries the capability to read human nature, understanding the greed and fear of the market, understanding the desire for respect within employees, and understanding the need for safety within customers. Not only in business, but thoroughly understanding human nature, both the bright sides and the primitive, selfish corners of envy will grant you an incredibly sharp lens to see through all social phenomena. You will no longer feel startled by the betrayal of a friend, nor bitter at the coldness of the world. Instead, you will view everything with an attitude of understanding and tolerance, mapping out wise and highly effective strategies of conduct. 48. Those who do not seek you out only when you are successful are the ones truly worth keeping. This mindset adds a gentle, perceptive angle to the 33rd reflection on how to recognize and filter friends. When you achieve brilliant success and your fame echoes far, it is inevitable that a stream of people will arrive to celebrate you. Within that noisy crowd, there is a very special kind of person. They may be old friends or close acquaintances, yet they choose to step backward, quietly observing and congratulating you from afar without trying to squeeze in to capture your attention or seek benefits from your success. Many careless souls will blame them for being cold or arrogant when seeing you succeed without coming to join the joy. But in truth, those are the friends who possess immense self-respect and are incredibly precious. They do not want you to misunderstand that they came simply because they want to cling to your prestige, profit, or lean on your aura. Their relationship with you is purely built on an appreciation of character and sincere affection, untangled by any material self-interest. They choose to appear when you need a shoulder during difficult times and choose to remain silent, leaving the stage for you to shine when you are successful. Mindfully recognize those noble souls, actively seek them out, and hold this connection tightly beside you. 49. Learn to say two phrases. What does this have to do with me? And what does this have to do with you? Many anxieties will naturally vanish. The majority of the anxieties, troubles, and exhaustion in our daily lives stem from two primary sources. First, we intervene too deeply in other people's business. Second, we allow others to intervene too deeply in ours. The two magic phrases in this 40. Ninth reflection act as two sharp pairs of scissors, instantly cutting away these toxic currents of energy. When you are about to listen to a baseless rumor, a petty argument online, or a story speaking ill behind someone's back, gently ask yourself, what does this have to do with me? If the answer is no, immediately sweep it out of your mind, dedicating that precious time to reading a book or resting. Conversely, when someone tries to scrutinize or judge how you spend your money, how you choose your partner, or the way you live your life, smile softly and ask them, or gently remind your own heart, what does this have to do with you? This question establishes an iron boundary wall blocking the crude interference of the crowd into the self-determination of your life. Master these two phrases, and you will save 90% of your mental energy to live an incredibly free, liberated, and peaceful life. 50. The most precious thing about a person is not how many truths they know, but that after countless ups and downs, they still retain their kindness, their resilience, and a peaceful soul. In an era of information explosion, accessing and memorizing thousands of profound truths or classic life philosophies in books or on social media is incredibly easy. Anyone can speak eloquently about compassion, discipline, letting go, or courage. Yet, knowing a truth and actually living by that truth are two distances as vast as the heaven and the earth. The true measure of a person's worth does not live in the number of books they have read or the maxims they memorize, but in how they conduct themselves when facing the storms of life. When betrayed, do you still retain enough kindness to refuse a petty revenge? When standing before the temptation of unlawful wealth, do you possess enough resilience to say no to protect your morality? When falling into a state of absolute collapse and failure, can you preserve a peaceful soul, neither blaming heaven nor reproaching others, smiling gently to begin the next move on the board? Navigating through hundreds of thousands of stumbles, tasting every bitter, sweet, and salty flavor of the human world without letting your soul become clouded or corrupted into a cold, cruel heart. Still looking at life with eyes of tolerance, still treating your fellow humans with genuine sincerity, and maintaining absolute stillness within that is the supreme realm, the highest peak of maturity, and a truly successful life. Conclusion: conquering yourself on the chessboard of life. The 50 supreme reflections we have just journeyed through are not a collection of mathematical formulas to be mechanically applied to every circumstance. Life is inherently multifaceted. and no two paths are ever completely identical. The most crucial thing is not how many words you remember, but that in each moment of facing life's reality, you know how to mindfully filter and apply the mindset that best aligns with your circumstance and core values. As has been deeply contemplated, life is like a game of chess. Once a move is made, do not dwell in regret over the past. Instead, focus softly on the next move. That very contemplation is the reflection of a soul awakening with profound self-awareness. Living on this earth, every single one of us makes mistaken chess moves, decisions that leave us with lingering regrets. Yet, what sets a resilient soul apart from a fragile heart is the courageous capacity to close the old page, brushing away belated tears to focus the entire mind on the move in the present. Life, in the end, is not a co-op marathon meant to outrun and win against others. It is a solitary journey inward, where the only and greatest opponent you need to conquer is yourself of yesterday. As long as today you know how to handle your emotions better than yesterday, become more independent and autonomous than yesterday, accumulate more value than yesterday, and protect your kindness and inner peace before the fluctuations of the outside world, you are already a true winner. Walk confidently on your own path, forge an iron discipline, take care of your health, nurture your family's happiness, and keep your heart serene and free. The right people and the most beautiful things will surely find their way to you at the most perfect time. Thank you for listening until the very end. If you find this beautiful journey meaningful, please share it so more people can live with grace and depth every single day. I am Awaken Within Daily, always ready to walk beside you, especially when you feel lost, anxious, or entangled in inner reproach. Each day, I share writings not merely for leisure, but to grow and progress alongside you. In your quiet moments, rewatch my videos. The more you listen, the more clarity you will uncover. Press follow so I may gently help you avoid unnecessary detours on your path through life.